title.
What is the perfect title?
Hawking in Italy.
Hawking or cooking?
No, hawking in Italy.
What is hawking?
A hawk.
A hawk? I have no idea.
Wait, you're recording?
Yes.
No, stop.
I really have no idea, guys. Welcome to Rome, Italy. We are here with Paris. She's a Kenyan girl studying and maybe working in Italy, maybe. And I brought her from Kenya.
Hi. So we are hawking in Italy. So we are selling roiko and we are selling pilau masala.
Ah, you meant working.
Yeah.
Okay, you pronounce it so differently compared to
No,
what I do.
it's hawking, like the way hawkers sell on the streets of
Hookers
Nairobi.
sell on the streets. And
Hawkers.
hawkers,
Hawkers.
not hookers.
No hookers.
Okay.
It's hawkers. So
Anyway, hopefully they are gonna be amazing and tasteful and whatever.
yeah, because if you notice, many foreigners who come abroad, they when they're sending people home to bring them something, they either ask for roiko, for pilau masala, and spices from home, just to make the African dishes and for them to feel like they're at home. There's just something about home and food. you know?
I do understand. That's why I often buy pasta in Kenya because I miss Italian food and you miss your own food.
Yes. So did you break your spaghettis when you were in Kenya?
You know it's a sin. You've been living in Italy long enough.
Yes, it is a sin to break spaghetti in Italy. Why? Why do you break them? Let's start from there. Why do you break them?
Were you breaking spaghetti before coming to Italy?
Yes, I was.
Another sinner. Okay. So now that you are an independent Italian woman,
No, you don't break them anymore because we were breaking them because you grew up in this setting where your grandmother breaks them or your mother breaks them so that they fit in the pan. Okay? But now when you come to Italy, you realize no, you just let them flow in. You go as they boil, they become a bit soft, and you keep pushing them in, and then it makes it easy to roll on the fork. You know?
I get it
Yeah.
100%. But I have a question. Now, every Kenyan will think that you are rich because you are in Italy. How did you end up in Italy?
Wow. So I came to Italy to study, to do a master's in sustainable development goals. I'm actually not a rich kid, you know. I have to say that, let me say I'm fortunate that I have an amazing support system around me that was willing to go the extra mile to support me to come here to Italy to study. Probably I'll not mention them, but yeah, I've had great support from my family, from people who've been in my life. So I just moved here to study. Other than that, had the privilege to work as well. And this is just to say that when you move abroad, it's important to understand that what worked for one person might not work for you, and what worked for me might not work for another person. So being abroad, you're not a rich kid, you're not privileged or anything. It's just that an opportunity opened up for you to either study or to work. So you just have to take the best of it and utilize the opportunity, you know?
You know what's funny, guys? On her first day in Italy, she got her money stolen. Like, people believe there is no crime over here, but you got everything stolen. Where were you hanging your wallet? Why do you trust white people here? Like,
No!
nobody would ever trust anybody, especially in the train stations.
No. So this is the perception that when you're leaving home, you're coming to Europe. Most people think, not just Europe, let me just say going abroad generally. So
Okay.
we are having some people passing. So people think that abroad, there are no, how do I say? You don't have kind of those petty crimes. Let me call them petty crimes
Yes.
that happen also in countries, the developing countries more so. But I think the perception is, let me call it's ignorant of us to think in that way, okay? And it's something you need to change if you think that these kind of small things don't happen. Why? Because for me, when I moved here, I'm sorry to say this, I'm not saying this in bad faith, but yeah, I got robbed, and I got robbed at Roma Termini, which is the main central station at the train station. And the worst part for me was that I could not speak the language, okay? So I went to the policeman and I was trying to explain that I've been been robbed, and the policeman just told me, "Benvenuta a Roma."
Welcome to Rome.
So that was my big welcome to Rome. But
You know what's funny, guys? She was jobless. She was just studying here, and when you asked for a job, they told you don't speak Italian, you cannot get a job. Because why did you think that the Italians would speak English?
no, because by the time you're coming from home, I'm coming here to study a course in English initially. So when I think about it, it was more of like, okay, then basically if it's a course in English, then people must be speaking English, you know? Then you come here, first of all, you realize even to do the basic stuff, like just even filling in a bank statement, anything, documents are in Italian, and you're shocked. That is the first culture shock. Why are you laughing, Ponte?
It's all good, it's all good.
It was a disaster for me because now you have to start switching your head, and you have to start thinking, oh, I need to understand this language. Otherwise, if I get into problems or if I get into issues with the police, I cannot get myself out, you know, because you don't speak the language. So that is one of the things I would say before moving abroad or moving to a country, make sure like at least you do a background check or a bit of some statistics to understand which is the main language. How is it going to affect you career-wise? Maybe if you decide to finish school and work in that country, how is it going to impact you? Is it going to be easy for you to get a job for those who are looking for jobs? Also for those who are hoping to be entrepreneurs in foreign countries, it's important for you to also understand the language, because you'll have documents in this language, and if you don't get a translator, it's gonna be hectic for you.
Yes, super complicated.
Yeah.
But what is interesting, you weren't able to find a job in Italian, so you decided to find a job connected to Africa.
Yes.
How did it happen? Like,
So-
you need to share your knowledge.
Okay, so this is the point. Oh my God, you're really grilling me on this one. So I think we need to broaden our perspectives, in the sense that if you go somewhere, you're confronted with let me call it a big, you just meet a stumbling block, okay? It's important for you to think of what advantage you have as a person. What is it that you have that other people around you don't have, okay? So for me, it was more of like, okay, so you speak English. Okay, many people here in Italy don't speak English, okay? So look for a job that uses English as the main language of work. Why? Because you'll have an added advantage, and because now I was doing a master's at the same time on sustainability, it only made sense for me to look for staff that are in the sustainable development line.
This is a smart girl.
Thank you for the compliment. So I ended up in the renewable energy sector, working for the academy. Let me just call it the academy, because I think maybe I should not disclose where I was working, but yeah.
Don't tell.
Yes, I don't want them sending emails to my bosses and getting me fired.
YouTube people, don't do that, please.
Yes, please save my face. I'm just sharing an experience. So I managed to get through working in the renewables, doing all these capacity building and training activities. And it just made me realize that we have so much potential in the sub-Saharan African region, more so with innovation and students. So where I was working, we had this opportunity to start an award to support innovative ideas in the renewable energy sector and projects dealing with women empowerment and climate change. So it was more of like me enjoying doing something and me being part of a project that values my opinion as a young African, given that most times we tend to face ageism. That's what I call it.
What's ageism?
Ageism. So what I call ageism is basically where you make an application as a young person for a job, and then you're told you're too young to hold this position. Yes. Or rather, you're told that your ideas are good, but you're too young, okay?
So guys, she being too young for Africa, she's old enough in Europe to teach at the University of Cassino.
Please!
Congrats!
Oh gosh, thank you.
Do you want me to bleep this part?
Oh no.
Can you believe that? She's a university teacher. But by working here in Italy, now people assume that you have lots of money.
No. It's not really. It's more of like getting an experience, and the sense that just know you're not too young to do anything.
Yes.
Okay, that's the baseline. For me, teaching at the university here has been an interesting experience because now I get to teach different people from different backgrounds. So you have to structure your notes as a lecturer in such a way that everybody who is in this class feels incorporated. Don't just give examples from Africa or just examples from Europe and the US, which most times it feels like that sometimes when you're studying in Europe in specific, because now the specific country tends to look for examples in that country. So for me, the challenge was to try and make my class all inclusive in the sense that if I have people from the Asian countries, I look for relevant examples in that case, as well as Europe and the US and blah blah blah. So it's been a mind-opening experience for me, and what I hated as a student from lecturer is what I tried to change as a lecturer.
That's amazing. And I have one last question. So you told me after all this, after your PhD, you want to go back to Africa. Why?
Yeah, that's gonna be my retirement plan actually. So my retirement plan is to retire as a lecturer, probably at the best university in East and Central Africa. Somebody can beat me for that, but anyone who's a comrade went to the University of Nairobi, that's the best university in the whole of Africa, I think. I'm an alumni.
Okay.
So it's basically just to share my experiences and to bring in a more hands-on approach to teaching, in the sense that I've worked in the industry, I've been exposed to different environments, so it's me bringing all this experience into teaching, and teaching it in a way that we incorporate not just the academia but also the experience, so to say. And at the same time, if there's one thing I have to highlight, when I moved here and I did my first oral exam, it was crazy for me. So in Kenya, we don't do the oral exams, we just do the written exams,
Okay.
So me doing an oral exam was quite exciting because now the people that use more Kenyas, these are like small notes that people write and hide under. When you're doing the oral exams, you don't get to do that. It's more of you and your understanding and trying to understand, and the lecture, it's like you're having a conversation with the lecturer. This is something probably I would want to introduce in the Kenyan education system, just to avoid these half-baked graduates, those people who get in with these more Kenyas, they go copy paste.
Yes.
So if you understand, you're able to speak it, and we are able to just generally get an overview and perspective of your understanding of academia. So I'm sorry, students, but I love you, but I want you to understand things. So in case you see me in the retirement plan, just know I'm going to be an amazing
guys, imagine
lecturer.
that she moved here, she got very successful, at least from an Italian perspective, and she will go back to Africa. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna go back home. It's good, I think, to share experiences, and people talk about brainwash, but I don't think there's something like big brainwash. I think somebody decides to stay abroad, maybe because it's working for them.
Yes.
There are those who come abroad, things don't work out for them, and it's important. I think this is a message I would want to pass out there, that if somebody comes back home, do not vilify them and see them as a failure. Sometimes life abroad can be very difficult, especially with trying to adapt to a culture that you're not used to. It's difficult. Already, by you being the odd one out here, maybe if you don't speak a certain language, it becomes even more difficult to adapt, So it's important that you're more gracious and grateful. And also don't think that when we arrive to Europe, we meet the government of Italy or the government of I don't know which country giving us free money. No, sometimes we are broke, okay?
Okay, I want to ask you, have you seen broke Italians?
Oh, yes, I've seen broke ones, especially
Have you seen homeless Italians?
Yes, I have seen. Now, this is the saddest part, that when I came here, media, let me just say, the media in Europe is very good at hiding the negative things that happen in Europe. What you see out there is the narrative of tourism, all this development, all these buildings, all these industries, all these good things, But the negative side of it is never shown.
I don't think it's the media in Europe. I think it's the media in Africa showing only the positive of Europe.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe we will have a debate on that later, another
a boxing
day.
match after this.
But this is the point. Like, there are very many poor people as well. There are people living below the poverty line. Like, for example, outside the Vatican City, just next there's the Roma San Pietro station. There are people who sleep under the bridges down there. And these are Italians, not just Italians, other Europeans also who moved to Italy seeking asylum, and they are abandoned. They literally have to depend on Red Cross and those other charitable organizations to give them food. So actually you do have poor Italians, not just Italians, poor white people as well. Sorry to use that word, but it's not meant to be racist. But it's more of like, even white people suffer the same problems that we have in Africa.
Guys, now you can believe me too. I was telling that in all the vlogs in Africa, in Kenya, in Ethiopia, everywhere I was telling that there are also poor Italians. Now you listened it also from a Kenyan.
Yes. And it's very real. And this is the funniest part, that there's this perception that most black people are very poor. So for example, I've had an experience, I don't know if this should be shared or not, where somebody comes to ask for money from people in a bus, okay? The person asks all the white people for money, and at the end of the time, at the end of time, I end up giving maybe 2 euros or 5 euros as a donation, and the person is shocked. You know, why is the black person giving me something?
Rich Muzungu.
No, I'm not a rich Muzungu. Okay, and I'm not a rich African, but this is just to say that the perception that's there about African is very evident, is very evident.
Yes.
And you cannot blame them for that. It's because now the media here shows a lot of negative side of what Africa is. So when they see Africans, they just see the advert with a small insect running on the nose of
and when Africans see Europe, they just see the
money.
Flashy mall. We are outside the flashy mall, but we are on the
staircase.
we are on the staircase where you can escape if the mall is burning down.
Just in case there's the burn down, because right now it's super hot out here. You don't even know what to expect. But that being said, there are poor people and they need help. And the biggest issue with me out here about the perception people have about white people is that even they suffer. And the worst part is that their own also don't help their own sometimes. It's more or less like, if you're poor, you're poor. If you're rich, you're rich. If you're in the middle class, you're in the middle class, And when COVID hit, that's when now you realize that even those that were in the middle class faced the same problems of almost becoming poor,
Hello.
Yeah, just like other places of the world. And the difference is, I have to say, my experience during COVID, I don't know if I should talk about this, that I saw a different Italy during that time. People were more united. People were praying for this thing to go away, because it was devastating everywhere, and many people came together. This is the part where, like when you're being attacked, when you unite to fight a common enemy, you become champions, But there was a lot of that going on. People just supporting the nurses and the doctors. It was a great experience, so to say.
Well, asante sana for sharing this with us. Thank you so much for participating to this video. I'm super grateful.
Thank you.
I hope you're gonna enjoy the pilau and whatever I brought you.
Yes, the roiko.
Well, thank you so much for watching. Keep reading and believe in your dreams.
Yes,
Ciao.
Believe in your dreams, and we will see you. And we're thinking probably to start a channel to help people find scholarships abroad to study. And let us know if you would want us to study.
She will make that channel. She's the expert in that.
Okay, and believe in the education also. Don't give up on education. Education is key to successes. And for me, I'm a living testimony that education can work for you regardless of where you'll be at. If it wasn't for education, I wouldn't be here. Okay? So thank you. See you.
Ciao.